With a large body of water, the general idea is to keep it as watertight as possible. Say you're trying to take a bath without the plug in, the water's just not going to stick around. It's the same idea with canals. Holes in them are generally bad news. So when you have a hole, about 100 yards long, 100 metres above a valley, the canal's not going to stay very full. Unfortunately, the Manchester Bolton and Bury Canal has such a hole. This is the infamous breach, a colossal gap in the side of the Bury arm of the canal, and a huge challenge to overcome for the eventual restoration of this canal. This is not the only breach on this canal, however. There have been numerous breaches throughout its history, this being due to the difficult environment this canal is built in, being sat on a huge retaining wall high up in the Irwell Valley. In 1936, decades of poor maintenance had allowed what was thought to be a small hole to occur in the canal. Leaking water lubricated the rock strata and destabilised the huge retaining wall and the ground it was built on. On the fateful day of July the 6th, 1936, the wall collapsed, sending hundreds of tons of rock, earth and water cascading down the valley sides and into the river. Millions of gallons of water poured into the River Irwell, reportedly making it flow backwards, and 2 barges were sucked down the breach and smashed to pieces. Miraculously, nobody was killed, although the damage caused was devastating. A very lucky man by the name of John W. Martin was riding his bike along the towpath just before the collapse, and was lucky enough to witness the chaos after just escaping going into it himself. He was interviewed after, and was quoted as saying,
"I was cycling along the bank when I suddenly saw signs of subsidence begin on a bend in the canal. I could not stop, and my only chance was to ride furiously along the 2 feet of earth which remained. As I passed over, the earth fell away behind my back wheel of my bicycle, and I was thrown off. The noise was deafening. A few yards from me, tremendous quantities of water, rock and earth were moving bodily from the canal. A gap of about 100 yards long had opened in the canal embankment."
his lucky escape shows the power this breach had. Sadly, this was inevitable. The canal had not had great maintenance in the years leading up to the breach. Railways had become king and the traffic on the canal had dwindled drastically. The decision was taken not to repair the breach due to this, as it was not seen as economically viable, therefore cutting off all 3 arms of the Manchester Bolton and Bury Canal from each other. The Salford arm closed soon after. Then the Bolton arm followed suit, with its aqueducts being demolished. The Bury arm struggled on, however, eventually being officially abandoned in the 1960s, along with many other canals. Luckily, this is not the end. The Manchester Bolton and Bury Canal Society fully intend to restore this canal, and this does include the breach. Although it will not be repaired to how it once was, this section of canal will be bridged by a new concrete channel, kind of like an aqueduct, that will be secured to the valley side and allow the canal to flow through this area and on towards Bury. Although this is the one feature that led to the demise of the canal in the first place, one day it will be at the centre of its revival. I wonder what John W. Martin would think of that.